Meet Nate Vogel, a businessman and the owner of two personal training studios located in the St. Louis area. Nate also sits on the local YMCA board, is a former president of the St. Peter's Rotary Club, is the varsity boys basketball coach at Lutheran St. Charles, and is the president and founder of the St. Louis chapter of Room to Read, an organization that partners with local communities throughout the developing world to establish libraries and allow children to pursue a life of quality education. I recently met with Nate to talk about his businesses and his responsibilities as a business owner. To begin, I asked him why he chose to become a business owner rather than working for someone else.
First thing would be because I wanted to be in control of my own success, meaning if I didn't do well, it would be my fault. If I did do well, it's because of something I did, but either way, I was in control, so I was never going to have to worry about losing my job or any of that kind of stuff. If I did, it's because I did bad, but if I do well, it's because it's something I did well. So.
Before Nate opened his business, he spent time working and training others. I asked him to talk about this experience.
Previous experience in terms of training, not in terms of opening a business. So before I opened my first studio in 2005, I was the assistant strength and conditioning coach at SIU Carbondale. And then before that, I was a personal trainer while I was in college.
When Nate decided to start a business, he realized he needed enough money to successfully begin this new phase of his life. I asked what route he took to obtain this startup capital.
My grad school and my wife's grad school was paid for because of the jobs we had. They paid for our graduate school. So I used the loans that I would typically take to pay for school. We used to open the first studio. And how that got started is the franchise asked me to open a studio in Chicago, and it just wasn't a good fit. And since St. Louis was the next closest big city to Carbondale, and so we looked down here.
Nate decided to become a part of a franchise. I asked what benefits the Fitness Together franchise offered to him.
Yeah, so initially it was, like I said, I knew how to train, but I didn't know how to run a business. And so that was part of the benefit of being part of a franchise is they could tell me how to market, how to advertise, those kind of things that I didn't have a whole lot of business experience doing. They were able to help with.
Nate has been successfully running a personal fitness business for almost 10 years. I asked what characteristics he had that he believed led to this success.
I think I work hard. Not too many people or other businesses are going to outwork me. That's probably the biggest thing. And then in terms of ongoing success, I guess it would be the customer service that I give my clients in trying to give them more than they expect.
Next, Nate shared with me some difficulties he has experienced as a business owner.
It's different things at different times, but at all times it's retaining your current clients. It's always you always need to keep getting new clients. I guess one of the biggest challenges in terms of being a business owner as opposed to an employee is I have no idea what my paycheck's going to be or if I'm going to even get one. So that's been a little challenging, especially when we first opened the studio when we were just getting out of grad school and didn't have a whole lot of extra money. And so that was a little nerve-wracking at times. We didn't know for sure, like I said, if we were going to have money to pay the mortgage or put gas in the car or food on the table or any of that kind of stuff. So that was a challenge initially. Obviously, it's an ongoing challenge moving forward, but not quite so much anymore.
I next asked Nate how his business has grown over the past 9 years. I also asked if he had any other businesses or if he planned on opening another business.
So initially, like I said, we started the Cabo studio in 2005, and then I opened another studio in O'Fallon in 2008, and so we grew that. In terms of new businesses, I probably won't expand the fitness business, but I do have other businesses I'm involved in, such as I have some real estate properties, and I have some other things going on. But because it is personal training is so personal, it's hard to expand because at that point you got to rely on employees, and a lot of times employees aren't as involved or care as much about your clients as the owner does.
My last question to Nate was what advice he had to anyone who was planning on starting a business.
Prepared for the hours. There's a lot of hours involved. One big mistake that new business owners make is not having enough working capital to start with, to market and advertise and pay trainers or pay employees, I should say, if it's not a personal training business. So making sure you have enough working capital, making sure that you're willing to take risks, because obviously opening a business in the first place is a big risk, and then being willing, like I said, to work hard and work long hours and not need paychecks or sleep or any of that.
As of March 1st, Nate decided to end his franchise of 2 Fitness Together studios, and he opened 2 new studios and started his new company, Vogel Fitness. He is looking forward to this new opportunity and is excited to see what the future holds for him.